Okay, we're live. Testing, testing. Today on Quality Time with Family Ties, we learn you can't spell Santa without VOMIT.
3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Quality Time with Family Ties. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Pepper. I'm here in Los Angeles speaking to Paul Packler in New York. Paul, you're dressed in your Lenin costume. Are you a member of the Leninites? Are you a Lenin party person?
This is 2018, guys. This is our first episode of 2018. I'm going to be joining the Democratic Socialists of America this year.
Very, very impressed.
I'll be a card-carrying member of people who want to overthrow capitalism.
No, go right ahead if it includes Trump. Don't really understand it, but if you're going to wipe out Trump and Pence, go right ahead.
Yeah, sure. You know what, Corey? I'm thinking of this right now as we're talking.
Yeah.
The miracle of the internet, which was created by our government and subsidized by our tax dollars in the 70s.
That's right.
You know, just as a for instance of the good that the state can do.
Mm-hmm.
Our words are traveling at light speed to each other across these United States.
No.
And also traveling slower than that is Scott Jones. He's flying across the country as our words bounce back between each other.
Right now, as we speak, Scott and his lovely bride, Carrie, and his two adorable children, who I do hope slept well during last week's program.
Yes.
I hope they're flying from Georgia, I would imagine, back here to lovely Los Angeles.
Yeah, to California. Both states that end in A's.
There's a lot of them, aren't there? Arizona.
Well, yeah, sure. I'm just saying these are two. They're a commonality.
That's
California.
True. Ohio. A lot of people say Ohio, but it's Ohio.
My grandfather used to say potato.
Potato. Let's call the whole thing off.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
It's 2018. You know, and I'm not the type of person to make New Year's resolutions. I don't do that.
Nor I.
I don't believe in it. It's just sort of silly. If you want to change, you can change when and if you want to do it. Just because the calendar says so, it's bullshit. That's why it's a racket. Go to a health club on January 3rd. It's busy. Go on January, 31st. It's not. Is there 31 days in January? 30 days have September, April, June. Yes, 31st. Go on January 31st.
Yeah, I only buy significant others flowers at times that aren't February 14th.
Right, exactly. Why go on price gouging night? Like, did you go out on New Year's Eve?
We did. We went to a friend's place. We
drank
heavily?
Sorry.
No, not really. Just a beer and some champagne.
Sat around.
We played a new board game called Secret Hitler that was very fun.
Oh, I think you tweeted something about Secret Hitler. Now you play. Describe this. It had an appeal to me. Explain it to me.
Well, first off, I just want to say that it's an amazing board game, and I had the best time. That's number one. Number two, you need a lot of people to play, and being you and I both, people that are abrasive to others, I find it hard to find that many people to come into a room with me all at one time. Like, I had to come there by an afterthought.
Well, that's why I married Susanna, because she's pleasant. People enjoy her company. So they'll flock to see her, and in spite of my presence.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say make sure Susanna is the one sending out the invitations to play Secret Hitler. Number three is that the rules of the game are so complicated that I still am not entirely sure how it works. But when you're playing, it's super easy. But to explain it, everyone is trying to pretend that they're liberals. You have 3 fascists, you have a secret Hitler, and you're trying to pass agenda, and then you vote for a chancellor, and there's a president, and it goes in a circle, and then it's all strategy, and you're yelling at each other which that was my favorite part. I was yelling at everybody.
Do you say the word oligarch at any time?
I didn't, but I did say obfuscate at one point. I said, this type of obfuscation is the sort of thing a fascist would do.
Fabulous.
And so let me just say this. I was a liberal, like when I got my cards of telling you what you are. And at a certain point, once enough fascist laws get passed, like whoever passes the most laws first wins. The president starts to get powers. And one of their powers can be that they kill a member of the game. And
oh my God.
I was so obnoxiously liberal, I was the one who got taken out.
Really? Someone killed you very early in the game?
Yeah, I sang "This Land Is Your Land" before they lined me up against the wall.
Were you the first one, like, voted off the island?
Yeah, I really was, yeah.
Wow, I think that just tells you just everything you need to know about a game in which social skills play an important part of the game. They wanted to shut you the fuck up.
See?
People who didn't know you, and there were people there who didn't know you, right?
Oh, they thought I was hilarious. As they killed me, they thought it was great.
There were people there that didn't know you, right?
Oh yeah, lots of people. I didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't know most.
And I'm guessing they certainly enjoyed. They enjoyed watching you go down.
Anyway. So it's Christmas again, everybody. This episode's about Christmas.
It aired, oddly enough, on December 20th, so like right on Christmas week. In 87, 88?
87.
It's, if you're playing along with us, as the late, great Scott Jones used to say, if you're playing along with us, it's season 6, episode 17, Miracle.
16.
I know I'm going to be off on that all year long because I'm going with Amazon's numbering and not the numbering of ours.
Right.
Miracle in Columbus. It's a seasonal Christmas episode that truly takes the spirit of Christmas and grinds it like in a mortar and pestle until you have like Christmas spirit powder. And then it goes outside, like think right near Central Park where the carriages are, where the ponies, the horse-drawn carriages are. And right behind a horse-drawn carriage, there's like a big giant pile of like bright, almost like yellow brownish poop that comes out. And it takes that Christmas spirit, that powder, that Christmas spirit powder that we mortar and pestled, and he poured right into a big pile of horse shit and stir it up, and then you have horse shit mixed with Christmas Miracle.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the best description one could make of this episode.
It is truly, I mean, I know we said VOMIT. It is vomitous. It is nauseating, and it is vomitous. And it is heavy-handed and written like only a Jew could write a Christmas episode. Just a horrendous, heavy-handed piece of shit.
Written by Rob Oken.
Yeah, okay. Well, Gary David Goldberg's imprints on it ultimately.
Oh, I'm sure. But when I saw the name Rob Oken, I was like, I don't think we've seen a Rob Oken episode before.
No, I think it sounds like a freelancer, like somebody just, hey, write the Christmas episode.
Yeah, good point.
Boy, we open this. I have to get glasses to read my notes. I'm going to confess. I'm going to confess. Marijuana is legal in the state of California.
Oh, is that where we are right now? Is that how things are going?
Yeah. Hey, liberal. Yes, that is how things are going.
Just because I'm liberal doesn't mean I'm not judgmental.
Oh, I know. Thanks, liberal. Liberal, continue judging as I explain that. So I smoked, some legal You know, it's legal. It's like having a beer.
It's actually legal now, or the vote just happened?
Oh no, it's today. Yesterday was legal. It's legal.
Oh my God, that's amazing! Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So I took some legal substance, absolutely legal, and I have a prescription for it nonetheless. So
it's a double whammy. No matter when Jeff Sessions kicks down your door, you're going to be like, I got you both ways.
I got medical grade, and I have a prescription from a doctor. What can I tell you? So I enjoyed this episode, but I can't read my notes as a result of my enjoyment of this episode. So I'm going to try and get through glasses on.
It starts with singing, right?
They're in the kitchen and they're making Christmas cookies, and wow, it's we know right off the bat you can just smell Christmas in the Keaton family household there. It's beautiful. They're making Christmas cookies, they're singing Christmas carols, and they're using 3-part harmony as everybody does.
I was impressed by that. They started off with Jingle Bells, and I was like, well, this is terrible. And then someone dipped down into a harmony track.
Yep.
And then Steven comes in and sings a 4th part.
He did. He came up, and Andy made a little $sign cookie
for Alex, or by Alex's request.
Mm-hmm.
Surprise, surprise.
And apparently, they say that Alex is really caught up in the Christmas spirit, in their foreshadowing of this episode. You know, wow. All I could say every time there was any kind of a thing in this episode was just wow. And there's a lot of wow in this episode. Steven comes in singing, and then Nick and Mallory come in singing, and they're holding gifts in their hands, and they're bitching and moaning about the fact that Steven wants to go and get the Christmas tree at Mr. Crusen's. And they bitch and moan that Mr. Crusen's trees are apparently dwarf trees. They're very small and horrible.
Oh, you're breaking up. Are you still there?
Oh, I sure am. I'm still here.
Okay.
Mr. Crusen has horrible trees, and apparently Steven wants to go out and get the Christmas tree, the family Christmas tree at Mr. Crusen's.
It's interesting. It's the same. So, like you said about with the mortar and pestle, I think we'll come back to this more than once. So they've taken a plot point from the Charlie Brown Christmas special. In fact, they stole the prop from it too, where that Mr. Kressel or Krusel or Cruisen or whatever, he's a small business person, and everybody else wants a magical, huge consumerist tree, and Steven just wants to support people that are nice and things, and that's the whole plot of Charlie Brown Christmas. So there you go. They stole that whole thing.
Wow. And just as touching this in this episode as it is in Charlie Brown Christmas.
You know, I was nostalgic watching this episode for a time when conservatives wouldn't shut the fuck up about how they love Christmas more than everybody else. Like at this point, like our resident conservative Alex B. Keaton is pretty ambivalent about Christmas. Sometimes he likes it, sometimes he doesn't. If they made this show today, it would be a Hallmark Christmas special, and he would be like yelling at Jews for not saying Merry Christmas to him.
Sort of how I felt every time that the president was using the word Christmas this year.
Yeah.
He was hitting that Christmas.
Yeah.
I invented it. I invented Merry Christmas. I brought it back.
It's amazing how they can weaponize language to make everything sound so dickish. Like when they did Democrat instead of Democratic as an adjective, where they're like, this Democrat bill instead of this Democratic bill. The Democrat Party.
My back hurts. Could you bring me my pillow over there?
By pillow, do you mean more pot or?
No. No. I mean sort of a coccyx, sort of a back pillow, a sort of a special.
No, you're all sideways. You're hither.
I know. I'm very uncomfortable right now. It's in a certain spot.
This looks like a very fancy pillow, like a 2001: A Space Odyssey chair.
It is. It's awesome.
Was that a?
There you go.
Was that a holiday present?
No, it's just something that gives me more support. My back hurt. Old man pillow.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
What?
For your viewers, not just your listeners. There you go. That's.
So and then as if we don't have enough people in this scene of Alex and Lauren and Nick and Mallory and Jennifer and Andy and Stephen and Elise, Skippy comes in.
Now before we started recording, you said I'm going to rage about this episode because I hated it start to finish. And I said there were some parts about this episode that I liked. Here's one of the parts of the episode that I liked is you just named off all of the people who come in and out of this scene.
Right.
And I thought they did a good job of keeping it moving and keeping it light. And I thought there were some jokes in here that worked. And it didn't feel like the momentum of the scene was completely in the basement. I thought that was something, as I was watching the scene, I was like, well, at least this is moving, and you've got all these characters. Usually when that happens, everyone's standing around with their thumb up their ass, and I thought this was a great job of keeping it moving. Good job. Rob Oaken.
To quote the President of the United States, wrong. This scene laid there like a turd for me. It seemed as though it was the precursor to a clip show.
Yes.
I was getting ready. He's like, are they gonna give me a fucking Christmas clip show? I was shocked. I thought, oh my God, they're not gonna do that. I was very pleased they didn't do that. But boy, what followed wasn't much better. Rob Oaken. We cut. Oh, Skippy informs the Keatons that he is going to go to a different. He's been playing Santa for the last 2 or 3 years at the mall, but this year he got a big promotion. He got a job offer from another mall to play the Abominable Snowman. So if you know anybody who wants to play Santa at the mall, if you know anybody who wants a plot twist, then just pick up on this one right here, because if you don't, there's no episode at all.
You know what's great about this is it's the beginning of a lot of stuff. Here we see Skippy Handelman works at one mall, and then there's another mall close enough by to their suburban home that he could go work at another close by mall. And so we're seeing the beginning in Reagan's Morning in America, the beginning of the suburban hellscape of America, where every place looks like every place else, all the same Best Buys and crumbling mini malls everywhere you go. It's a nice little, reality is sprinkling into this episode of Family Ties.
I am so fucking depressed.
That's what I was trying to go for.
Wow. What a bleak, bleak picture you paint.
Some people don't like Christmas, Corey.
And yet, yeah, most of them are my friends on Facebook. I don't know how that works, but I'll tell you.
Wait, are you saying me or just other? Like, I'm so defensive.
Oh, no, not you. Other people, please, not you. I have friends on Facebook who are single and let's say in their 40s, 50s, or 60s, and post a lot of pet pictures. And around the holidays, the pet pictures become a little bit more desperate.
Oh. Are you thinking of one person in particular, or?
No, I am really not.
Okay.
I got plenty.
Yeah.
Got a lot.
Yeah, a lot of desperate people.
There's a lot. Trust me, I have a lot of desperate friends. So Alex's eyes light up at the thought of playing a mall Santa, and of course, here's something that seems totally right up Alex P. Keaton's. Oh, he found out how much it pays an hour. That's why he wants to do it. It's $10 an hour.
$10 an hour. Still, our federal minimum wage is not $10 an hour, and it's only been 30 years.
Only 30 years. It's grown a lot. So Alex is now Santa Claus, and the kids, Mallory and Jennifer, are his elves, and we're at the mall. And mall, it's a word I really have a hard time saying with my New York accent. Mall.
Yeah, you're almost getting to moil.
I know. And Alex is reading the Wall Street Journal to small children, and there's an obnoxious child. I don't know his name. We meet him again later. He has a lot of lines. And I'm going to guess, here's my wild guess on obnoxious child, runner-up to play Andrew.
Yeah, because I mean they're very similar type.
Mm.
He looked a little bit like Scott.
Scott Jones?
He looked like Scott, minus the beard.
Scotty, I hardly remember ye.
I don't remember his voice anymore.
He's the one who's got... how do you describe it? His beard is nappy? Would that be the right word? Nappy?
Scraggly?
Don't even remember him.
But wait, let me just say this. This is an interesting point here. The first girl that Alex was reading to the Wall Street Journal played Curly Sue in the movie Curly Sue.
He did indeed. Allison Porter was her name. My wife, God, brilliant woman. She pointed that she has no education, and yet she was able to point that out. That Curly Sue, that girl became a star. She said that girl became a star. I dropped out in 6th grade, but that girl became a star.
I wouldn't have even recognized her. That's really impressive.
And so immediately I went to IMDb and I said, wow, honey, you are right. That girl did become a star. She played Curly Sue.
And then, so you've got little Scott Jones, and then the third girl, Michelle, who is the focus of this episode, also went on to be in another Christmas film.
Really?
She played Ruby Sue, Cousin Eddie's daughter, in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Wow. Did not realize that.
So she's the daughter that Cousin Eddie says Santa's not coming because we're poor.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting to me that, again, this girl has played 2 different parts where her dad is saying something about, like, Christmas isn't happy because of economic insecurity. Seize the state. Seize the state.
You know.
Overthrow capitalism.
It bugs me when parents tell children, because you can distract children in very inexpensive ways into thinking they're having a really good Christmas and not really have a lot of money.
Like, kids are amenable. If you give them a cup with a ball and they
they're very resilient human beings, children.
Yeah. And so you're saying that these parents should have just lied to their kids?
Absolutely. Covered a little bit.
Yeah.
So we find out that sad little Michelle, that and here's maybe the flimsiest fucking plot I've ever seen in a Christmas episode. Daddy can't come home because he's on the road traveling.
He's a salesman. He's a traveling salesman.
We don't get that until later, but now we get Daddy can't come home until, don't we get that just later?
Yeah, I mean, that's what she says on Santa's lap, that she's sad, she doesn't like Santa, and that all she wants is for Daddy to come home for Christmas. And like this is where the story slows down to a crawl, and Alex is like talking to the mom, who looks like, not Blythe Danner, what's the name from Cagney and Lacey?
Are you talking about Tyne Daly?
It looks like her.
She's actually a very well-known character actress who's worked for many, many, many years. Her name is Lee Garlington. She could not have more of a laundry list of credits, stuff that you like her in, stuff that she's memorable in. She also happens to be a very dear friend of 2 of my friends who I know from 2 completely different worlds, and saw a Facebook picture of the 3 of them together one year, and really, I knew each one of them were friends with her, and then I saw all 3 of them together, and I said, how did the 2 of you know each other? And it's like, we just met. We just met through her.
That's amazing.
And it was like two very close friends. It was just very funny.
She was very good in this because her part was a nothing part.
Right.
And she stuck out as being very honest. Like, she just had a very real energy about her in a way that she felt like she wasn't on a sitcom. And I was like, oh, it was a good performance.
And we sort of see that Alex is quite moved by small little Michelle and her plight of daddy not being able to make it home for Christmas. And we cut back to the Keaton family household, and they're arguing, of course, about the fact that daddy wants to go out and get his dwarf tree. No, he got his dwarf tree. He's got it. It's like a twig. It's like it looks like a branch on a podium.
Mm-hmm.
I did think Alex had a funny line. Can you imagine the timber that was yelled when that tree was cut?
It was good. There's some good stuff in this episode.
I thought that was pretty funny. And then Alex starts to explain to his parents that this girl, Margaret's plight, really touched him, and he felt helpless and hopeless for her, and really truly wanted to try and do something to help her, because she doesn't believe in Santa Claus, she doesn't believe in Christmas, and daddy's not coming home. And I have to ask you the question at this point, who the fuck is this person?
Who? Alex?
Yeah. Who is this guy? The most empathetic person in the world all of a sudden?
It's really weird because, like, from the point of view of what's happened in the life of Michelle, her mom, and her dad, the dad sucks at his job. Go find a different job. Go make money instead of, I don't want to hear complaining. Like, if you're Mr. Yuppie conservative, then shut the fuck up and go earn your money, bruh.
This is so out of character for Alex P. Keaton to sit there and stew in his own juices over the plight of someone's economic problem that has nothing to do with him. If he had related it to politics in some way, that maybe it was the cause of something that he's against, are they having an economic problem because of something of Alex believes or doesn't believe in? Is that what the problem is? It's just stupid that all of a sudden Alex P. Keaton, Alex, who doesn't give a shit about anybody in the world except Alex P. Keaton, that he should care about sad sack Michelle from the fucking mall. I don't understand it. Why?
It happens way too quick, because if it had taken one more scene for him to, like, at first she's like, I'm sad because of this, and he's like, well, and he tries to explain it away as he's Santa. That would have been funny, interesting, and it would have made it that you see where he's coming from. Instead, what happens, she comes up, she's a cute little girl, she gives him eyes shrink-wrapped with tears, and he immediately, like a light switch, is like, oh my god, my heart has swelled for this girl, I need to help her. And then for the rest of the episode, that's all he does. Like, there's no change of heart. His heart has been changed.
I don't know what else to say.
There's nowhere for him to go. It should have been a progression of him when he finally meets Santa, spoiler alert, that Santa would be the moment that he changes his mind.
This is the commercial break.
It is. I just want to say that going into the commercial break, for like the third time already in the episode, Alex is like, ugh, I just really feel bad about Michelle. I don't know what to do. And then the camera cuts away to Mallory, to Jennifer, back to Alex. Silence from all three of them. And then it fades out to commercial. Something we did not need at all. Just dead silence for about 5 seconds.
Ridiculous.
We'll be right back. And we're back. Did you like that silence for 5 seconds, Corey? I was trying to...
We're trying to emulate the episode.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to say is that Mallory, in her elf costume, because she and Jennifer play elves to Alex's Santa at the mall. I don't know how they got that job. Mallory was looking very cute. I liked her outfit.
I know there was a little something going on there.
Yeah.
When I say we open in the mall locker room,
what's you know what I could go back and find episodes where I complain that it's like, why does everything take place in the Keaton household when it shouldn't?
Why can't we get a new set? Okay, we gave you a new set.
Now we're in the mall locker room that I think they also use for Saved by the Bell. I don't know what's happening.
I believe so. It was a Saved by the Bell. And Alex is meeting another gentleman apparently dressed as Santa Claus.
Because at first, when the scene starts, two other mall Santas leave the locker room. So you get the idea that there's multiple guys running around, and Alex is in his outfit without his
Seven Dwarves. It's triple and quadruple cast.
Yes, exactly. So they can get the again. Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
The mall is running on a 24-hour schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Because
8 hour, like 6 hour shifts for each Santa.
Exactly.
And Alex accuses the Santa who walks in later as being a method Santa. Oh, he's in character all the time, not understanding right away that it's not a method Santa. But dare I give it away? It's actual Santa.
Saint Nick, Kris Kringle, the man for all seasons. One of those is not actually the name that Santa has, but
here's the problem, okay? And tell me if I'm wrong. This show takes place in a realistic setting, and spoiler alert, if there are any small children, please have them leave the room.
I mean, I did bring them in when I started to talk about socialism. Kids love socialism. But now, kiddos, it's time to go away for a second.
Santa Claus isn't real. You and I agree on that, don't we?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, damn. Santa Claus isn't real. You and I agree on that, don't we?
Look, Jesus didn't exist. There's no case that could be made for a historical Jesus. But Santa Claus is very real, my friend.
Okay, I'm afraid I disagree with you. And here's the crux of the problem with me in this show is all of a sudden Santa Claus is having a scene with Alex P. Keaton, and I'm supposed to believe that this is real.
It's the strangest scene, I think, in this whole series so far.
It is, indeed. It's just...
Corey, do you think that this is a weirder scene than the one where Alex was flirting with the 40-year-old woman from the radio station?
I do, because there's a sense... This scene has a sense of losing touch with reality. And I'm not sure if they'd eased me into it in some kind of way. I don't know. Maybe I would have bought it. But all of a sudden, Santa Claus is having a scene with Alex P. Keaton.
Yeah, I mean, it's a historic episode for that sort of a thing.
And then Santa's like shouting out facts about Alex's his gift history, like his Amazon history, his orders with Santa Claus.
Yeah,
1973, I remember it well. Motor car, 74 calculator, 75 personal computer.
The thing is, I went on IMDb for this episode because there were so many people that I wanted to see who they were, and Santa is not listed.
Correct. Santa is unveiled. I looked at that too.
Yeah, played by himself.
Yes, it's Santa Claus. Wow. You know, they were really, that Jew, Gary David Goldberg, keeping that Christmas spirit alive, not even giving a credit to Santa.
Well, you could argue, too, that he was Taft-Hartleying that Santa deserved to get his SAG voucher.
Well, Santa admits to Alex during the scene that he is here because of the sad sack kid. I think he called her that fucking sad sack kid, Michelle. And wow, it shows that, you know, Santa, you really can work miracles. And he actually says in hands down the worst line of dialogue of the season. Trust your heart, Alex. Trust your heart.
And Alex is like, yeah, it's kind of out of practice, bud. Well, yeah, it's gross. Yeah, this is, it's got all the maudlin stuff of a Christmas episode.
Well, we cut back to the mall, Paul Packler. And Alex is, he is stunned. He doesn't know if he can go on, because he just met the real Santa Claus and he's like fake Santa Claus. Now, here's where things get even stranger than stranger than strange can be. First of all, Eddie, the overacting kid, makes his second appearance of the episode.
Coming back to Santa. Mm-hmm. He's already. Who goes to Santa more than once?
There we're gonna go. That's my next question. Okay, we've lost touch with reality. Now, you're not a parent. I've gone through this twice. If you're lucky, once during Christmas season, you get to see one Santa Claus.
Oh, Corey, I'm not a parent, but I wouldn't take my kid during July to sit on some guy's lap at the mall. I would only do it during Christmas.
But I'm saying you get once. You don't get a return trip. There's no addendum. There's no volume 2. No, once. We go to the mall once. You talk to Santa. That's it. And I don't want you to see other Santas.
No. Yeah, you get one trip. So make your list. Get it ready.
So Eddie, the overacting kid, is making Alex a little crazy, and then Michelle shows up. Sad sack Michelle shows up, and here's the moment that was the strangest to me in the whole episode. Alex's response to seeing Michelle is to, what do you have in there? Good choice. Just want to make sure something I bought had almonds in it. I wanted to make sure you didn't just help yourself to that.
Oh, is she allergic to
almonds? Oh, very allergic to almonds.
Oh, no.
Not pepitas, just almonds. Making sure she wasn't going to get and have a little problem here.
Right.
A little problem like that.
So Michelle approaches, and Alex's response of oh, Michelle, I'm so happy you're here, is to take a child who doesn't believe in Santa Claus is, I'm going to pull my Santa Claus shtick off.
There's a line of other children that can see this happening.
Yes. And I would imagine mall management somewhere.
Now, it's rare that I side with management on anything, but I feel like if you pay a guy to be Santa, you don't let him spoil the ruse.
Comrade Paul, I agree with you, comrade.
Thank you. Can we also talk about the fact that when Alex comes out from meeting Santa and he's sitting in his chair, like at the beginning of this scene, Alex starts singing all the Christmas songs he knows?
It's like he's imbued with the spirit of Jimmy Stewart and Alistair Sims all at the same time. And
I'll tell you who he's not possessed by. Placido Domingo. Michael J. Fox singing should never happen.
And then Alex, after he takes his beard off and apologizes and tells Michelle he wants Michelle to come over. He wants Michelle and Mom to come over for Christmas. Now that's not too weird, is it? The mall Santa takes his beard off and invites us over for Christmas Eve.
What? I don't know how this solves the problem of Dad's not coming home for Christmas.
That's what I kept on thinking. Connect the dots for me here. How does that solve the problem?
It doesn't. I don't know how you solve the problem, but this ain't it.
No, I know this isn't it. Well, thank goodness you can just feel the conclusion coming up in this next scene. And we find ourselves at the Keaton household, sort of trimming the Christmas cactus.
Wah, wah.
Now, Stephen does say that Mr. Cruson has promised a tree.
Cacti aren't tree, though.
9 months, maybe, I don't know, shrub.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a
Yeah.
reptile or something. I don't know.
Something different. And of course, Skippy drops by, bursts in wearing his abominable snowman outfit, which scares the crap out of absolutely no one, including Andrew. By the way, Andrew, in all of his stuff today, another A+. Good work, Brian Bonsall.
He really is an MVP of this episode.
He did just fine. Every single time they asked him to do something, he did yeoman's work on this episode. So Skippy's dressed as the abominable snowman, and then soon there's a knock on the door. Guess who's there? It's Mr. Cruson, and he brings in, I'm going to tell you this, you're not going to believe it, are you? If you saw it, you're not going to believe it. He brings in a trimmed tree.
It's got all of the stuff on it already.
He's carrying it on its side. First of all, doesn't everything fall off of a tree once it's trimmed? But my tree is upright 100% of the time, and the fucking things don't stay on it.
No, not even a little bit.
And if you have a pet, even worse.
Yes.
But I'm telling you, he brings in a fully trimmed, not like it's flocked, not like it's tinseled. It's a fully trimmed, extravagantly trimmed tree.
There is a tree topper angel on top.
Yes, exactly.
Now, let me ask you something, Corey. Who plays Mr. Cruson?
That's the wonderful character actor Alan Blumenfeld, who we have seen before on Family Ties.
Corey, would you maybe infer that that actor played Santa Claus in this episode?
I think it's very possible that's Santa Claus in this episode.
Right? That's what I thought. I thought they were going to put the 2 and 2 together on that and have it be that Mr. Cruson was actually Santa the whole time.
Since Alan Blumenfeld has appeared on this show a couple of times and may still have another appearance in the future as different characters, I am convinced that he and Gary David Goldberg, I know he's from New York, obviously. Gary David Goldberg's from Brooklyn. They're about the same age. I think they are very good friends. And I do believe that he threw him the bone of him doing Santa as well.
Absolutely. Now, I just think it would be very cool if we learned that Alex Blumenfeld?
Alan
Blumenfeld is Santa in the world of Family Ties, and that every character was actually just Santa Claus in disguise. Would have been the best.
Mm-hmm.
That's my headcanon. I'm going to choose that that's how it goes.
And then, of course, they're all there at Christmas, including Mr. Cruson, who clearly doesn't have a family of his own to go to. So he's going to stay with Keatons. Everybody's there. The music starts playing, and it gets another moment where I think we're going to have clips. I don't know. It was like a montaging moment there of the camera going all around the room and everybody partying. And wow, it's Christmassy. And all of a sudden, there's a knock at the door.
Who is it? Is it Santa?
No, it's even better than that. Because remember, little Michelle is sitting there with her mommy.
It's a man in a suit.
And he's got a package in his hand.
He's looking for Alex P. Keaton.
What? Wait a minute. Little Michelle looks up and she sees strange man who says his name is Ray Davis. Her name is Michelle Davis. Hold on. That's Daddy.
What? Now, here's his story, folks. He says that he was in Fargo.
Pay attention to this. This is a little on the weak side.
He was in Fargo, which we all know is in North Dakota. We all know, based on the title of this episode and the series, the Keatons live in Columbus, Ohio. So at some point during the evening, a man with a white beard came by his motel room and bought everything that Mr. Davis had been selling, gave him cash on the barrelhead. And he said, all I need you to do, Mr. Davis, is take this package to Alex P. Keaton. I assume that he told him where Alex lived because he doesn't make that clear at all. But somehow in the course of a day, Mr. Davis drove or flew all the way from Fargo, North Dakota to Columbus, Ohio.
I'm going to pose another question to you. I'm a salesman, okay? And I got a wife and a child. And I sell anything other than Christmas trees or Christmas ornaments. What the fuck am I doing selling anything on Christmas Eve in Fargo, North Dakota, when my family lives in Columbus, Ohio?
I'll do you one better, Corey. What businesses are open in 1987 on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day?
In Fargo, North Dakota, today or any day.
That you could go and be like, no, I have to go into work tomorrow because I'm going to be selling. What, on Christmas Day?
It's a very flimsy excuse not to be with your family. Ray Davis is fucking something, tapping some waitress in some sleazy fucking diner in Fargo, North Dakota.
Look, Corey, we're old men, and we've heard one too many traveling salesman jokes to not know that something's up.
Something's up with Ray Davis. And I'm sorry for little Michelle, and I'm sorry for lovely Lee Garlington, the wonderful character actress, but this is ridiculous. And it's not a Christmas miracle. It's a Christmas travesty, and I sucked 22 minutes out of my life.
I think that Santa probably blackmailed Ray Davis
into going. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's probably. And then Alex opens up the gift, and guess what? It's the car that he wanted in 1973.
Yes, because Alex thought that he wanted to get a Porsche. So he got like a Matchbox car Porsche.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty clever, Santa. So that's Christmas, folks.
Wow.
Corey, do you have up Christmas decorations and stuff? Do you do that?
We do. We put up a Christmas tree.
When do you take it down?
My wife has a very, very limited capacity for Christmas spirit. So in past years, we have always put the tree up on Griffin's birthday, which is exactly 1 week before Christmas.
Wow, that's right up there.
Yeah, and take it down 1 week after Christmas, which is New Year's Day, exactly 1 week later.
That's good.
So that's what we've always done. It's always up for about 2 weeks. It's up. This year, however, we put it up earlier and took it down sooner because Logan was going out of town.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
But really, my wife has a very limited capacity for how much Christmas spirit we can have and how long it can stay in the house.
That's awesome. Do you get a real tree or a fake tree or?
Oh no, a real tree every year.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't have trees growing up. I didn't have a Christmas tree in my life until I was. It's like I came from Cuba. I didn't have a Christmas tree in my life until I was 21, 22 years old.
Wow.
And now I love it every year. It's lovely. I think it's terrific.
It's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Is this season going to get any better?
I don't think so. I honestly think that there were a few things in this episode that I would say, if you wanted to watch an episode of this season of season 6 of Family Ties, I don't think you would go far wrong watching this one. I think there's a few jokes in it that work, and otherwise it's aggravating in ways that you can laugh at with your friends and family as you're watching it.
Wrong. It sucks ass.
Can I just say one final thing?
Okay.
Because Courtney Cox is in this episode, along with every other recurring actor in the series this episode. She and Michael J. Fox still zero chemistry.
None.
I love it. They, as a couple, they're just so joyless. I love that they just don't seem to like each other.
Well, they act in their first year of a romance. They act as though they're a couple who's been together for 47 years, sitting at Dupar's in studio.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Like this couple definitely goes to nice restaurants and then just sits there silently.
Silently. Mm-hmm. Doing their own thing.
Yeah, yeah. I love them. I love this couple.
I love them.
All right, let's get out of here. Please rate and review our show on iTunes. For questions and comments, email us at qualitytimewithfamilyties@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at QTWFT for updates, and you can follow each of us. I'm at Paul Packler.
I'm at Corpep, and Scott's somewhere over the United States.
And he's at Follow Jones. You can like our page on Facebook, and we'd like to thank our host and producer, Barbara Dillon, at Fanbase Press. Fanbase Press is a comic book publisher and an online community supporting creators and fans through daily reviews, interviews, and podcasts that span the pop culture spectrum. Check them out at fanbasepress.com. We'd like to thank Perry Adams, who beautifully performs Family Ties and our theme song, Without Us. Check out Perry's website, perryadams.com. We'd like to thank Brian Dillon, who created our fantastic drawing and artwork, as well as edits our show. Bryant is the president and co-founder of Fanbase Press. Follow him on Twitter at Comic Book Slayer. Finally, we'd like to thank Sean Foster, Fanbase Press's graphic designer, for designing our logo. We will see you next week. Bye!
Bye!
2018, socialism!